So over to you, Florian.
Good morning. Thank you, Jess. Welcome to this shorter and remote version of our client event. For those of you who have not met me, my name is Florian. I'm the Managing Director of More Onion and the Product Manager of Impact Stack. So More Onion is a digital mobilization agency. We support progressive nonprofits with campaigning and fundraising, and we generally cover 3 areas, and those are strategy, creative, and technology. But today we'll be focusing on our technology platform, Impact Stack, and that is also what most of the session will be about. I just think it's important that you always have a bit of context of who More Onion is and what our connection is to Impact Stack. So More Onion is the company behind Impact Stack. We operate as an agency, but we also provide the software as a platform independently. So some of you may know the old name of our platform. It used to be called Campanian. We have recently rebranded, and that is just to make sure that everyone knows, like Campanian is our old name and Impact Stack is the new name. You may find traces of the old name in some of the pages or documents that might be still out there, and we're gradually replacing all of those as we go. So whenever you find the mention of Campanian, that is actually the old name for our platform. So we've changed the name and changed the brand to really reflect how our platform has evolved over the past 6 to 8 years. So it's been quite a while, and a few of the reasons we originally named the platform Campanian was that we wanted to be like a companion for you as an organization for your campaigning. But since then, our platform has grown, and it's being used for fundraising, it's being used for digital engagement, for organizing, for all sorts of different things. So we wanted to make sure that our brand also reflects that. The other thing is that we're in the process of redeveloping our platform one piece at a time and modernizing it. You can imagine software development or tool development like an ongoing effort. So it's never done. The second you are done, you start replacing parts to make sure that they're sort of more future-proof. So it's an ongoing process. And the next generation of our tools will be like a stack, and in many ways our platform already works like a stack. So you can choose which pieces of functionality you would like to use from our platform, where you would like to integrate other tools, which type of email marketing tool you would like to integrate, and which other systems you already have in place that you're happy with. So you can take the layers, so to speak, of our platform that you like and replace some of them with something else if you want to. But what's important is that our core values are still the same. So we consider our platform to be open, powerful, and flexible. What that means is open. We want to build a platform that is open to really integrate well with other tools that are out there, and open to play well with others. Powerful means that it really empowers you to create impact, and flexible means that it's flexible enough to be customized to meet your needs if you have slightly different needs than the way the platform comes off the shelf, so to speak. And the last reason why a new name and brand is great is because you can actually spell and pronounce it in multiple languages. So we're really happy about that. We've heard, over the years, we've had like many different variations of the name Campanian, and it was almost like a running joke, like that nobody really knows how to spell it. So we're really happy about the new name and the way it reflects how our platform is today, really. Before we get right to it, I want to welcome some of the new clients. At the heart of what we do is the community. So you, the clients using the platform. The reason is that we considered our mission to empower you to create impact. So without you, there's no impact. And without you, Impact Stack would really just be a stack. So thank you to all of you. And the more clients join this community, the more organizations use the platform, the more, the faster we can develop it. And obviously, the more we can offer like cheaper rates to smaller organizations, that sort of thing. So the bigger our community is, the better it will work to deliver impact for many different types of organizations. So just a few comments on how we operate for those of you who don't know Impact Stack that well. So Impact Stack is a community-led product. What that means is that we always work with individual clients on new features. We often develop prototypes that are only rolled out to very specific organizations who will then test them as part of a campaign. And what works will then come back into the platform and will be rolled out for everyone. It's also a community-led product in the sense that we constantly receive input from you. We ask you for feedback, and it's an ongoing effort where we develop the product together with you rather than sort of just behind closed doors. That also means that we're open to co-funding. So we have a number of different organizations want a specific feature that doesn't quite fit our current product roadmap or current plans. And you would be happy to contribute for some budget, then we ask a number of different organizations and they can share budget, and that way it will become cheaper for everyone and we can still implement things that are currently not on the sort of short-term roadmap already. Our roadmap is really transparent and it's publicly available, so you can always see what's currently in progress, what's happening, what's being released soon, and you can also interact with it and ask questions. At the moment, we're in the process of a transition to the next bigger new version of the platform. What that means is, as I've already briefly mentioned, is that we're constantly redeveloping one piece of the platform at a time, and that will eventually become one sort of bigger new version. And that is what we're focusing on at the moment. That sometimes means that we prioritize building these new features in the sort of on the new platform. So whenever we can, we make that happen rather than customizing the old platform or pieces of the old platform. That has some advantages because that means, like, with every new piece of functionality that we release, every new layer of the platform that we're replacing, you will unlock some of that potential and some of that flexibility that we're talking about. We will not be talking about that too much, but if that is something that you're really interested in, then I'd be happy to answer any questions, or we can have a conversation afterwards about the next generation. What I will be talking about today is our new standard themes. These are also part of the new platform, so they already use newer technology, and this will also stick around for many years. So the new standard theme, what that essentially means is that every client gets a free standard design that works really well, is usability optimized, and can be used to launch action pages and donation pages and the likes. So first of all, it's a new design of that theme that we've already had. So it was already the case that every client could have their own standard theme, but we've updated that and we've changed the design and improved the design in many different ways. Here are just some of the examples of things that you can see sort of how it feels and looks like. So what you can see to the left is like a teaser of an action. The form is obviously really important, so we've spent a lot of time working on the usability of forms and improving all the different aspects of forms, because they are really at the center of most actions. One of the things that you'll also be able to see is inline error validation. So if as someone is typing something on the form, you will see the error message appear right next to the field, which makes it really easy for the person to fix a potential error and still submit the form. Obviously, we've also changed all the other different parts of our platform. So the overlay that allows you to add secondary calls to actions on thank you pages, the sharing has been improved. The social proof still works in the same way, but the way it's designed is slightly better. Obviously, donation forms and things like that. So these are that is a wide range of different elements that have been redesigned and improved. Obviously, things like the colors and the typography will be completely changed to match your brand. I'm going to show you some examples of that in a second. One of the biggest changes that will come with new standard themes is the ability of creating different page layout variations. What that means is that you can set up a page and you can choose whether it should have a large image at the top, whether it should be the typical 2-column layout, whether it should have a large image in the background and all the elements are sticky on the page. So a lot of flexibility in terms of how you want to present a particular page and how you want to present that content. Sometimes it also depends on the type of landing page that you're building. Is that a landing page for warmer audiences or for cold audiences? Depending on that, you might have very different content needs. So with page layout variations, you can make that happen. You can easily switch between these. So it used to be just a simple 2-column on desktop and a 1-column on mobile. And that is the version that is still the one that we give away for free. So that is included with every Impact Stack account. Then on top of that, you have the variations that you can see here. The variations, depending on how many you want, will cost a bit extra, but we'll get to that in a second. So how are these new standard themes better? The standard themes are, first of all, much better than custom themes because we can roll them out really quickly. Because we've invested a lot in the workflow and in how it sort of all fits together, we can actually create new themes with a new design really quickly, and we can roll them out fairly quickly. So rather than engaging with us and working on a design for a couple of weeks and then 1 or 2 months of development work, we can actually make that happen in just 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the exact requirements and the lead time given. So that is really great because we've always wanted to have a version of a theme that is much more responsive to sort of the needs that organizations sometimes have, because sometimes you have a very short window of opportunity where you can create impact and you have to launch quickly, otherwise that opportunity is lost. So in that sense, these new themes will enable you to launch different designs that obviously have been pre-designed, so you can't change all the different aspects, but different coloring and different typography and different page layout variations, that sort of thing, very quickly. Also, we wanted to make different variations of the layout available at a much lower cost. So originally, the way it's worked is whenever you needed something that had like a large background image or was slightly more complicated in terms of like a different page layout, then you would have to commission a custom theme either with us or with someone else. But obviously these custom themes can end up being a lot of work. And sometimes if all you want is really the ability to add like a few larger images and therefore customize the page and the look and feel of the page, then these page layout variations are a really great option and much more affordable. We also have a number of different elements that we've introduced that are great for conversion optimization. So I will show you some of these in a second, but things like floating buttons and sticky forms and the ability to really make sure that there's always a call to action present on the page, those sorts of things. We've made the whole theme system future-proof. So the way that it works is that these themes can be easily migrated to the next generation of the platform because they already are part of the next generation, if that makes sense. So the first, I'm going to show you 2 examples of organizations who've adopted these new themes. So the first one is Shelter Scotland, who's literally launched an action with the new themes last week. So they are using one of the page layout variations where you have a large image at the top, and it's a campaign on social homes in Scotland, which is really exciting. What you can also see as part of this theme is the cookie bar. So the new theme ships with a number of different elements that are really well designed out of the box. So there's not much need to customize them as you start using those themes. It will just look nice and work really well out of the box. Obviously, the forms are really well optimized for mobile. And the one thing that you'll also be able to notice is the three elements that have changed in terms of the behavior. The first one is if a form fits the screen, so it's not higher than the screen is currently high, and there's no content underneath it, it will automatically become sticky. So it will, on desktops, so it will stick as you scroll down the page. It also depends on the page layout variation, but that's one thing. The other thing is on mobile, we've introduced the floating buttons. So at the bottom, you will always have that button available, and you can change the label of it and customize it if you like. So you have complete control over this, but it's very easy to just add a floating button on mobile. That way people don't have to scroll around on your page. And the first thing, if they load the page, the first thing they see is the call to action at the bottom, which is really important. And the last thing is, if you want that, you can also activate these sticky buttons on desktop. So if your form can't be sticky because it's higher than the screen is high, then you can have a little button that stays at the top right and floats with you. These are just some of the features that we've introduced that make it that are really great for conversion rates. We know that from like many themes that we've developed in the past years, and where we've also conducted tests. So the other one is a great example from Tibet Network. It just shows you how different it can look like. So just by changing the color scheme and the typography, it will already be like a very different experience. In this case, they have different member organizations. So each member organization has a different design. Here you can see a red variation, and here you can also see the donation pages and the way that the donation form looks like. What that just shows you is like there's a wide range of possibilities with this particular new theming system. Obviously, there's some design elements that you can't change because that is the whole purpose of it, that it's really standardized, and that certain elements can be also changed for everyone at the same time. So if we roll out new functionality, that will already be included. But within those parameters, there is a lot of flexibility. So what you can get with these new themes as a new standard theme is that we adjust the color scheme. So all the different colors that you can see on the page can be customized to match your brand. We will obviously replace the logo, and we will customize the typography. So the fonts that are being loaded, how these fonts look like. So with these three things, you can already, and potentially like a large image in the background, you can already really change the look and feel of the page. Again, for every organization, the default layout is free. That just ships with the platform as is. If you want additional different themes, so let's say you don't just want one theme with one color palette, you have like 5 different sub-brands, or for every campaign you would like a new one, or maybe you have one campaign that has a slightly different design and you want that to be reflected, that is where the cost starts at $9.50. So what's really important is the page layout variations. So the default, again, that is free of charge, and that is what will just come with the platform. And then you have the different page layout variations, and depending on how many you want, the cost will gradually go down. The other thing that we're introducing in January next year is what we call bonus packs. So these bonus packs will be additional types of functionality and additional things that can be added to these themes that are not something that everyone needs. So all the basic functionality is always covered. But if there's something that is very specific, for example, different ways to present content is something that not every organization wants or needs, or specific fundraising functionality and things that you really only need if you use Impact Stack heavily for complicated fundraising asks. So these sorts of things, we will group them in what we call bonus packs, and these can also be sort of bought on top of the standard themes. What exactly they're going to be is something that will really depend on what you ask us for. So what types of things you would like to see and what types of functionality you want to be added. Part of the thinking here is also that we want to make the standard experience with Impact Stack really straightforward and simple, because whenever you add more flexibility and you add more options, it can also become a bit overwhelming and more complicated. So with bonus packs, we're grouping some of these things that are slightly more advanced and more complicated with the theme, yeah, that way they can sort of just be tagged on to the theme if needed. So thanks. That's it from my end.